Today is August 3rd, 2024. For those interested, the new moon is coming tomorrow. You should check your area. I forgot there's a full moon coming, but I was reminded. I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I've been listening to some favorite people I watch on YouTube, and I had this thought coming to me, and I said, you know what, this needs to be shared. You can definitely put in comments if somebody chooses to post my address. There is something called law harassment, that type of thing, and other things. Enough being negative so early in the morning. Sorry, I'm kidding, but yes, in my healing process, because this is what I'm trying to do, help others heal themselves. Hints, indications, whatever your personal experience, which is what I'm doing, and see what works for you. I mean, things that work for some people do not work for me. I think it's a majority of things that work for other people. It doesn't seem to work for me. But something that I was pondering this morning on is another thing that I think I did touch upon briefly. I constantly speak about when you come here on this earth realm, you go through a series of things, and you are very vulnerable, right? That's why you have parents. And what parents taught me and teach their kids, typically, I'm not sure what's going on nowadays, but on my time you were taught respect, and most of all you were taught to respect the authority. So growing up, I gave the respect without having people work for it, type of thing. It's just, oh, this person is wearing a uniform, right? For instance, they have authority, so they deserve to be in authority, and that type of thing. And then, you go to school and the teacher has authority over you, and so on. And then you go to whatever the next step typically is after you finish with the studies. You start working. And what happens after? You have to respect your boss. You have to respect your colleagues. To me, respect is first and foremost reflecting who you are. That's something that my father taught me. If you do not respect yourself, do not expect others to respect you. And typically how you do that is by showing respect, and you don't necessarily expect respect back. But what happens is, when this is not reciprocated, you need to admit there is a problem. So where I'm going with that for 3 minutes, basically what I'm saying is, we should not be taught to give respect like this. Respect needs to be earned, and respect cannot be replaced by being afraid. Because somehow this is what has translated when somebody says, they respect me, they're afraid of me, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that type of thing. It's just tying in with what I was talking about throughout my videos, how words are being given different symbolism, different meaning, and respect is one of those things. People confuse it with being afraid. Not everyone, obviously, but I'm just saying that it seems to be widely spread that respect sort of brings fear, and that shouldn't be the case. Respect is something that you value in someone. And then you have trust, because respect and trust go pretty much hand in hand. I respect and trust you, so the two got somehow thwarted, because you as a child growing up, you are taught to give your respect away, and that is done basically because you put your trust in your elders. Anyway, from there, my mind went to this society. I keep on saying it's twisted, upside down. I'm pretty sure a lot of people see it that way. It can't be just me. Definitely a lot of people see it that way. I'm just wondering why we accept things even though we know there is a loophole being used. And when I talk about this, I'm thinking about laws. In my mind, laws are put in place to defend someone's rights. And seeing how actually it's not quite happening, and that is because somehow, if there is a loop, if there is a fine print anywhere, and you in your gullibility and being taught to trust and respect someone just because they have a position of authority, you're just going on trust, and you're saying, yes, that's fine, you know, I trust you, you sign it, and down the line something happens and you try to, oh man, it didn't work for me, this thing, and they say, oh, look at the fine print, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is not something that should be occurring, because the law should be impartial. This reminds me of Solomon and the child story. Two women come with a child and they both claim it's theirs. And King Solomon said, okay, I'm pretty sure it's him. I'm going to check and put it on my, once I create the video. But he said, all right, well, neither one should have it. Just let's execute the child. And one of them said, no, don't do that. Just let her have it. And he basically flashed out the liar. There was no loophole in there he was looking for. He was looking for emotions, love. A woman loves her child. A mother, a mama bear, loves her child. And she understands that maybe this battle is not to be won right here and there. You just take a step back and say, please don't do that. It's okay. Let my child survive. I know this is very drastic for an example, but what I'm trying to convey here is that the law is common sense. And if somebody creates a little loophole in it, and it does not defend you as someone who's vulnerable, someone who has some rights, that means the law is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I know this is not a new notion, it's just that I'm struggling to understand where things went wrong in my life. And I'm starting to see more and more everything stems from childhood. And some people are in denial and say, oh, that's stupid. It could be for some of you, I don't know. But for me, everything started when I was a child. I was sold the fact that you can trust people. You need to respect people just based on appearances. You don't think that a priest would do something to you, right? You wouldn't think that a teacher is sabotaging you just because they dislike you or some other parent bribes them. And there are so many other examples that come to my mind, but I just want to make a point. That's all. I'm trying to make a point. In my life, I noticed everything started since I was a child. And that is why I always say becoming obnoxious. I'm sure, why is she talking about this again and again? I talk about this because I think it's key, at least in my situation. Everybody has their own discernment, their own judgment processes in their lives, right? I don't impose that on anyone. I'm just saying this is something that works for me, and I think it might help some others who are wondering. The other thing that comes to mind is, how can you trust those people who are in authority if they need to compromise and go by loopholes, and I'm not sure, they're forgetting why they're there. And it's not something that I'm making up, it's very, very obvious. You have someone who, you know, they keep their promises, they're loyal. No matter what, this person has integrity. So what they decide to do is abuse that side of you. This person is loyal. If this person signs their name in blood on a document that is false because it has some fine print on it, this person is going to hold their part of the bargain just because they are loyal to a fault. However, in universal law, this would not pass. Because when something is cracked, there is a loophole, there is deceit, there is trickery involved, that contract is null and void. They cannot hold someone responsible because they were tricked into something based on their whatever it is, naivety, temptations. I don't know why I'm thinking of those poor celebrities that start singing in church, and then they end up looking not very respectable on stage. Like, what happens? What's going on? How can be this angelic person turn into excuse my language, vile tramp? Or men are also guilty of that too. Though I have a feeling men are a bit less than that. Unless it comes to thinking with other parts and have no self-control. And that's about it. I'm not sure why I'm going this way, but my main point here is this. When somebody tricks you and they expect you to hold your part of the bargain, they should expect for a very, 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 very long time. For the simple fact that treachery and trickery is not part of the universal law, the one above the false ones created on this realm. And that's about it for today. Hope everybody's doing good. It's Friday. Have a lovely weekend. Love you all. Take care.